Joining us now to sound off all about Trump's trials, the founder and president of the Article 3 Project, Mike Davis, back on the program. Mike, I'm almost just running out of steam. Every damn day I have to bring up these 6, 7 different trials and the BS that's being thrown at Trump from all of these nefarious actors. So first and foremost, let's start with today's trial. All last week was jury selection. It took them a whole week to find a jury because nobody could get up there and go, yeah, I won't be biased against President Trump. So we know what the verdict's going to be already. We have a corrupt judge, a corrupt DA, and a corrupt jury panel. But this prosecutor, this Michael Angelo, whatever the hell his name is, he worked directly for Biden or something, and then Biden put him on loan to Bragg so he could work in Alvin Bragg's office to go after Trump. Is that what I'm hearing?
So Matthew Colangelo was a senior Biden Justice Department political appointee. He was the acting number 3 on the parachute team into the Biden administration. Then he became the number 2 to the number 3.
Okay.
I'm breaking up here. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I still got you. I see you, Mike. You're fine.
So then he was the number 2 to the number 3 in the Biden Justice Department. He was a prior Obama White House political appointee. He was a former Obama Justice Department political appointee. He worked for Tom Perez, and he got deployed to Alvin Bragg's office, this Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg's office, the Soros-funded Manhattan DA, to resurrect this zombie case against Trump that was passed over by the prior Manhattan DA, the Manhattan U.S. Attorney, the Federal Election Commission, and Alvin Bragg himself.
Thank you. So I want everybody to hear that, folks. So when your friends are out there, because I went to a buddy's birthday party this weekend, and some very affluent people who consider themselves Republicans keep talking trash on Trump. They're so worried about a conviction and should they still vote for him? And I'm like, first of all, pull your out of your wife's purse, get a pair, and realize it's Biden versus Trump. Who the hell do you want? And stop worrying about a BS case like the one in New York. Look what Mike just said. Everyone passed on this case. Federal jurisdiction folks did, local did, the previous DA, but then all of a sudden it got resurrected because all the other cases are falling apart. And they knew we got to get something so we can call Trump a convicted felon. That's all they're doing. Let's move on to the other cases. I saw something that Judge Cannon released some evidence and unredacted a bunch of stuff that Jackass Smith had put up in that case against Trump in the Dox case. And wouldn't you know it, some of these unredacted things that I'm reading here, Mike, are pretty interesting. It shows more proof that the Biden White House did, in fact, collude with the National Archive and Records Association, or whatever they're called, to make Trump look bad, when in fact the record shows Trump and his people were working with them to give them the records they wanted back, right?
Yeah, President Trump, as any criminal defendant, has the right to a fair, public, and speedy trial. You don't have secret evidence in these trials. And the Biden Justice Department is trying to hide a lot of evidence in this case because they know what they did was they ran a lawfare and political operation campaign to take out Trump. And it was Jonathan Sue, Biden's deputy White House counsel, who waived President Trump's claim of constitutional executive privilege going back 250 years on behalf of Biden. So you have Biden's fingerprints on the Bragg case with Colangelo going from the Biden Justice Department.
Of course.
You have Biden's fingerprints on the January 6th case with Jack Smith and the presidential records case with Jack Smith, with his deputy White House counsel Jonathan Sue's involvement. And then you have Nathan Wade, Fulton County DA Fannie Willis's dumb, unqualified boyfriend, billing 16 hours of his time, $250 per hour for his 2 meetings with the Biden White House, including the White House counsel, before their criminal indictment of Trump. This is Biden lawfare and Biden election interference.
Right, but every time Joe's been asked about it over the last year, we have nothing to do with any of these cases against Trump. Right,
exactly.
My last question was going to be about the Georgia one. Where does that one stand now?
Well, Fannie Willis has a clear conflict of interest, but this Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee, this young, weak Kemp appointee, didn't kick her off the case. And so who knows where that's going to go. You have she's bringing a RICO case against Trump and 18 co-defendants for the non-felony of objecting to a presidential election, which is allowed by the Electoral Count Act of 1887. Twisting arms politically is allowed by the First Amendment. Democrats weren't charged for objecting to Republican wins in 68, 2000, 2004, and 2016. So this is part of the lawfare and election interference.
And my producer just reminded me, I forgot one. The judge Merchan in the hush money trial. It's happening right now in New York. Tomorrow there's going to be a special hearing before the jury is brought back in about the gag order on Trump because of some of his social media posts. What are you hearing about that, Mike? Is he going to try and slap the president with like jail time for violating the gag order?
I hope that this Democrat Judge Merchan, whose daughter has raised $100 million from this case and who has donated to Biden and another anti-Trump cause in 2020, I hope he's stupid enough to put Trump in jail, because you will turn Trump into Nelson Mandela and will guarantee that he wins in a landslide.
I love it. I think so too. And if he doesn't put him in now, I think Trump better go to Barron's graduation next month and give a big read between the lines to the judge. Throw a father, in prison for going to his kid's graduation. Landslide, especially with parents. Mike, as always, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Take care.
Thank you.
Yep.